Honestly, is there a lower bar than that of, oh, he was for pedophilia?
You should be able to clear that one.
I mean, that's one everybody should be able to clear. Now, Milo says that's not what he said. Is there any doubt in your mind? I've seen the audio. Any doubt in your mind?
Yeah, the line he seems to be drawing is that he didn't approve it under all circumstances. Like, he didn't say, well, a 6-year-old. He said 13-year-olds. And he didn't say all 13-year-olds, because he said the age of consent is, generally speaking, about right. But what his point was is there are exceptions for coming-of-age relationships where there's nurturing happening where it should be okay.
The answer is no.
The answer to that is no. No, it's not.
No. He said what everybody thinks he said.
Yes.
That pedophilia is okay.
Well, he says, hang on. He says pedophilia is before the age of puberty.
It isn't.
A pointless distinction. What is it? Pederasty? Pederasty?
I think so, yeah.
That's the word. I guess that is the distinction between before and after puberty, which makes, I mean, clearly 0% difference. I mean, yes, you might say it's worse the younger you get. I guess that's probably true. The closer you are to the age of consent in the majority, the
tell
most
that to the courts.
Common.
That's all I would tell them.
Exactly.
Tell it to the courts.
It's illegal either way.
It's illegal.
You know, as you get closer to the age of consent, it becomes less offensive, I suppose. But still, it's really offensive and illegal. So I don't know why.
No, it's really, I mean, I have a problem with my 16 or 17-year-old daughter going out with a 35-year-old man.
I guess 16 is the age of consent in, I think, the majority of states.
And I don't
this is 13,
think of
this is not 16.
A 35-year-old man with my 16-year-old daughter is not something I'm happy about.
And the split is important, too. I mean, a lot of libertarians have taken up the cases of boys who are 18 years old having sex with their 16-year-old girlfriend in high school and becoming Megan's List people for the rest of their lives. There are when they're close, and there's distinctions here, but not with this case.
Right. For me, 16 and 18 is just not the same.
Right, and
it's still the law, but it's not the same.
Right, and so they argue for, hey, let's look at this in a little bit of a different context. There's no context where an older person and a 13-year-old hooking up is I don't think. I mean, outside of this one person, I know of no one making that argument. Outside of Nambla and Milo
and Salon magazine.
And Salon, that's right.
Salon magazine.
Salon is. I don't even think they've said. Even Salon hasn't said, hey, this is okay. They've said we should think about this a little bit more carefully and
because they're
try
massaging
to
us into that.
Yes, they're slow playing, seemingly normalizing this behavior.
Yes.
So it's not no one. That's too extensive. But this is such an offensive thing to 99.7%.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Certainly
if people go to CPAC. Certainly.
Yeah, for the people who go to CPAC. But who was it that was really raising the alarm here? Was it the right or was it the left? It was the right that raised the alarm on Milo. It was the right. It was Jonah Goldberg. It was Dana Lash that were saying, answer this.
Right.
Tell me about this audio. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones. I mean, I don't know if you saw the warrior that Jonah Goldberg was on Twitter. Great. I mean, he was a warrior on this.
He is an indispensable voice this time.
He really is.
Indispensable.
Yeah. And Dana was the same way. Dana was apoplectic when she found this out.
Because, I mean, he said lots of offensive things, and, he shouldn't have been invited in the first place because of those things. But this is obviously so far above and beyond the line that, he lost his book deal. He's no longer speaking. He's, I just don't care about this person at all. He doesn't feel any emotion about this idiot.
No, the only thing I don't like is that he's being normalized by the White House. By Breitbart and Bannon, he's being normalized. I don't believe that the CPAC made this decision like they were sitting around going, who else could we have? I believe this decision was pushed on them by somebody in the White House, is my guess. But I could be wrong.
Maybe. Maybe.
Certainly would not be surprised by that information.
Would not be surprised by it. So I want you to listen how Fox News presented this.
Fox Business, right?
Fox Business presented this. Now, this is, what's his name?
Gasparino.
Charlie Gasparino.
Yeah, not the parade, but
Gasparino. Not Gasparilla.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Tampa.
He is He's a credible source.
Yeah, business guy. Yeah.
Listen to how he talked about this.
I want to say this, that I take have no credit and thrill in this story. Milo Yiannopoulos is a guy that I know. I actually like him a lot. I think he's a provocateur, and I think he took it too far with these statements about sex between underage but mature men and older men. And it's probably something he shouldn't be opining on.
Stop.
Men. He was talking about 13-year-olds. He's not talking about men.
Underage men.
And he was talking about homosexual men who will groom them and teach them and love them in the right way and nurture them and all these just bizarre...
NAMBLA stuff.
Yes.
It's NAMBLA stuff.
Yes.
It's completely offensive to gays.
To homosexuals would be very offended.
No gay person I've ever met in my entire life would even tolerate a conversation about such things. I mean, it's so completely offensive to the average gay person in their culture. That's beyond, it's a whole other step of this. But I mean, the way he's talking about this, they're not men. I don't care how mature you want to argue. We have these numbers and lines that are bright for a reason, right? Like, there's a reason why 13 is below the line. You could argue that a 13-year-old is more mature. That's something it's a mockable thing to say, well, that 13-year-old it seemed a little bit older.
Well, you know what?
Joke.
It's crazy when the government says you're 26 and you're still a child.
Right.
That a 13-year-old is mature enough. But I just wanted to show you the hoops that those on the right are leaping through. This is a very low standard. We're now at pedophilia. And it's a low standard. And the hoops that they are jumping through to say, well, he's a provocateur. Yes, he is, but not in this. That's not what he was doing. Does he change his hair color because, it might make him more provocative? Yeah. Does he wear pearls because it might make him? Yeah. That's not what this is.
No.
That's not what this is.
He uses language that is offensive, blah, blah, blah. Saying it was a detailed argument to justify some sexual encounters with older men and 13-year-old boys. It was not a quick, off-the-cuff, minor comment. It was a lengthy discussion where he had qualifiers. And every person who likes this guy is coming out and saying, well, he did say that he thought the age of consent was appropriate. Yeah, he said that generally speaking. He says there's exceptions to it. There's exceptions at times where 13-year-olds are fine having sex with older men because they're being nurturing and giving them the sort of listening and understanding that they need. No, that is not a legitimate point.
We wouldn't be fine with this if it was a nurturing 35-year-old woman giving a 13-year-old boy what he needed. We wouldn't be cool with that. Nobody would ever say, oh, well, you know what? He was mature. No, she's 35. What could she possibly be getting from the 13-year-old? That's where you have to go. It's not about the 13-year-old. It's about the 35-year-old. What exactly is she getting from the 13-year-old that she finds fulfilling and so mature? Have you talked to a 13-year-old? It's not a mature relationship. And on top of it, what have you done to the innocence of that child? You've stolen the innocence of that child.
And I'm unclear as why there seems to be a legal requirement to care about this dolt. I don't. Who the hell is he? Who cares?
Well, the only reason why you care is because he's being mainstreamed, and thank goodness CPAC, changed its stance on this.
Yeah.
So that was a big move to mainstream him at CPAC. That was astonishing, at least to me. Astonishing.
Well, they ended up in the right place.
Yes, they did.
And I will say that, without that, we probably wouldn't even have known about this particular...
Well, this audio has been out for months.
But I mean, I had never heard it.
Yeah, nobody seemed to care.
Although he said plenty of other things that would indicate he should not be at this, including that he's not a conservative. But beyond all that, I'm glad people are finally noticing, that he's offensive. I don't know why. It seems to be like everyone seems to care so much about this person, and I don't know why.
I don't care about him, but I do care about, again, the normalization. Salon Magazine has done a series of trying to normalize pedophilia, and they're slowly trying to normalize that. Milo normalizing to the point to where people are like, no, that's not exactly what he was saying. I'm sorry, but the line is the line. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how mature the 13-year-old is. No sex.